Hey everyone, it's Saturday night. It's almost Sunday, and it's super cold here in Rhode Island. Just wanted to talk and holy smokes, not feeling good in my tummy area. Don't know why. But yeah, it's like freezing. Super snowy here. It was like really super warm, feeling like spring or summer weather past 2 days, but then yesterday it friggin' snowed so bad. It looked like a winter wonderland, and holy crap, it's so snowy out there. I'm shivering with cold. And I just wanted to talk, but first thing, I'm gonna say a saint of the day. I wanted to read a saint from this new saint book I got. It was gonna be Saint Dorothy, but I can't find it. So today, we'll read from this book that we've been reading from. Um, woo, cold as heck. Ugh. And then after this, I'll just talk about stuff because I really feel like talking tonight on here. So yeah. All right. So the saint for today is February 6th, I believe. Is it February 6th, or am I just crazy? Saint Vedast, or Foster, Bishop of Arras, 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 however you say that. Saint Vedast, whose English name is Foster, was born in France in the 5th century and emigrated to the Diocese of Toul, where he was ordained by Saint Remigius. Remigius. He was selected to accompany King Clovis I of Rheims to prepare him for his baptism. On the way, he restored sight to a blind beggar, which confirmed the king in his new faith. After assisting Saint Remigius in teaching the faith to the Franks, Vedast was consecrated Bishop of Arras to reinvigorate the faith that had waned there. He labored for 40 years and succeeded in restoring the Christian faith to that area. He died about 540. Reflection. Through the grace of God and the gift of miracles, Saint Vedast brought back the Catholic faith to the people. This shows that when the faith is presented in the right way, it will yield good fruits. Prayer. God our Father, you enabled Saint Vedast, your bishop, to give his life in leading people to Christ. By his intercession, help us to be faithful witnesses of the Christian faith. This we ask through Christ our Lord. Amen. Amen. That's today's saint. I still gotta read the one from yesterday. Well, I don't have to, I guess, for this video thing, because like I said, I'm not gonna tape every single one I say. I don't know, but it's been a super weird week because of the snow and still transitioning. I ended up dropping my astronomy class because when I came home on Monday or Tuesday, I was like, I think it was Tuesday, I was like, I got to drop that class. I don't know. It was just an intuition thing that happened. Like, I was walking home and I was like, all of a sudden I was just thinking about it, mulling it over in my head, and so I was just like, I need to drop that class, so that course. And I figured I can study astronomy on my own if I want to learn about that. So instead of paying like $200, $300 for a course, you know what I mean? Like, so I ended up dropping it. And I'm really feeling very good that I did. Because I think also some guy from my past was in that class, and it just made me feel weird. I think he did drop it 'cause I didn't see him in there anymore. But the first day when I saw him, I was just like, oh my word. I was like really shocked. But it made sense in a sense because he was interested in that sort of stuff, and I don't know, I think he's more interested in astrology, but um yes, he, I don't know, like, I think he dropped, but either way, it just felt really like the right thing to do to drop that class. Like, I wasn't getting hurt at all from dropping it. Plus, I can spend more time putting into the, because I just didn't feel passionate about it. And my other 4 classes, I definitely feel super passionate about it. And if I dropped that other class, I'm still a full-time student because you need 12 credits to be a full-time student at my school. And 4 classes, in this case, equals 12 credits. So, yeah, um, I don't know, like, good times lately, but at the same time, I don't know, I'm super tired right now. So many things are going on, and I don't know if I want to say everything. It's probably boring. But at the same time, I'm not really making these for others, but at the same time, I am. Like, I want to be talking to people, but at the same time, I'm kind of making these just to talk to something. I'm not really talking to anyone in particular, ever, really. For the most part, no, not really. But yeah, I mean, I could talk about a number of things, like, yeah, I mean, I saw uh, a Romero movie yesterday with my brother, and it was a VHS, and let me tell you, that's, I don't know, I almost don't even want to talk about it because it's, I don't know, it's like, it's a really, let me tell you, it's a really powerful movie. Um, very sad though, very, very sad. Um, I almost don't even want to talk about it. It's called Romero. It's 105 minutes. I think it was made in 1989 or something. It was a few years before. It has Raul Julia in it. A few years before he did The Addams Family, um, I believe, and he did a good job. He did a really good job, but very, very, very sad movie. Very powerful as well. Some images were like some things were most things were like so disturbing. Um, but like the saints here. Oh, actually, he's beatified. So the bishop, the cardinal, he was killed when he was saying a mass, and it was in El Salvador, and his name was Oscar Romero, I believe, and very sad, very sad. Like, I just wanted to cry like so hard. It was really sad. But you hear about it a lot. Martyrs, he's in May 2015. It said that he was beatified. I think. Um, he hasn't been canonized yet. I don't believe as a saint, but I believe he will. The beatification ensures that he will get to heaven, which he deserves it because he did a lot of work. And in the movie, they act like the clerical members of the church were a little corrupt because they were saying they wanted to input Romero as the archbishop because you know the Monsignor, because he wouldn't make any changes, and he'll be dying soon or whatever. So that was a little corrupt, but I don't know if that's true. I don't know if they're just trying to make them look bad or something, but who knows? But that seemed a little weird. But at the same time, they just didn't know. And that idea there points in it brings up a lot of different topics. But like Romero was really holy, and he did make a change, in my opinion. There's some really, really powerful parts in that movie, where he's just watching horrible things being done, or hearing terrible things being done, or hearing about terrible things going on, and the gorillas doing evil, evil things to other human beings, and he's in prison at one point, being arrested for just ridiculous reasons, and somebody's being tortured in the prison, and he's just for God's sake, the love of God or something, stop. We are human beings. Stop hurting that person. You know what I mean? They just did terrible things. I don't want to describe everything, but terrible things were done, and he just kept saying, "We are human beings. We are human beings. Stop." And it just, we're supposed to be kind to one another, and the fact that they were just completely being evil to one another just really was awful. And another thing that dropped my friggin' jaw was when the gorillas were he literally, Romero was going into the church to, I don't know, he was going to do something, but one of the guys took his gun and he turned around and he shot the crucifix at the altar, and totally smashed with the bullets the crucifix to bits. During that part, I wanted to cry because my jaw was dropped, because that's so disrespectful. I was horrified, you know what I mean? It's just horrifying. I think in this video you can see at some points you could see my breath, I think. It's that cold in here. But that was horrifying. I'm gonna tell my Latin American history teacher that I watched that, because it was one of her recommended films. I need to talk to someone about that, because that was a crazy film. My dad actually told me that he met the producer of that film, which is kind of amazing. My dad has seen and done many things, but I didn't know about that. That's awesome. It was a priest, apparently, the producer. Just a really powerful movie. Many crazy things happened, it just makes me want to cry. But the disrespect to other fellow human beings is just horrifying, and it makes me want to reflect on my own self, and how sometimes I get resentful or hateful feelings towards others sometimes, and or sometimes I judge others wrongly, in a sense. I mean, we all have our faults. We're every one of us, and we're all in this world. We're all sinners. We're all human beings. We shouldn't be hurting each other, shooting each other, etc. But going back to that point about the corruption and the clerical corruption and all that. It just goes to show you that, when people say the church is like bad or something because the priest does something bad or something, I just don't like that at all. Like when people say I'm done with the church just because something happens, like, whatever, I don't know. They are mean to the priest is mean to them or something. Or nuns would beat people in the 60s or whatever. I don't know. 70s, 60s. But, all that stuff. You gotta understand a few things. Like, they are not the faith. They're human beings. Yes, they are important figures because they're religious figures. Basically, they're devoting their life to God, serving God, but they are still human beings who sin and make mistakes. They are not the faith. They are not God. They are not the faith itself. Don't hate the church just because of somebody in the church. You know what I mean? That doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? It just goes to show you that they are human beings as well. We are all human beings. You know what I mean? Yes, they are supposed to be, holy, 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 but they are not without sin. Nobody on this earth is exempt from sin. You know what I mean? It just goes to show you that. And also, there's no difference between us and them. We're humans. Any of us are called to be saints, or, devote our life to God. Even at times I have considered devoting my life to God, being a nun or something, like, because whenever I go to church or whenever I think about God and try to, and talk to Him, I literally feel so much love for God, and I want to devote my life entirely to Him. And that's why, like, in the sacrament of confirmation, you're pretty much marrying God. God is, the one you're devoting your faith and love to. And, my faith is entirely in the Lord, and, Isaiah 43, do not be afraid, for I am with you. I have called you by name. I have summoned you by name. You are mine. We are all God's children. God, I am God's. I am yours, God, Show me the way. That's a line from the film as well, Romero. Lord, I am yours. Show me the way. God is always going to lead us. And we just have to constantly ask Him for help, guidance, to guide us to make the right decisions, to not sin. And even though none of us are exempt from sin, including religious figures, don't judge that. When you're saying that you hate the church just because of them, God doesn't like that. God doesn't like that. You're not any higher in God's eyes just for saying those things. You know what I mean? Just for saying, oh, I hate this parish now because that priest molested a child or something like that. Yes, that's awful, but forgiveness is a strong thing too. And God wants us to forgive because you never know what someone's going through, mental illness, etc. And you can dislike an action or whatever, but like judge the person. I mean, you're judging the action, you're judging, with your best sense, but, try to love the person as they are. You don't have to spend every moment with them or anything, but just try to be kind to everyone. I don't know. This has turned into a long spiel, but yeah. And I've been really feeling. I feel like in my mind I've skipped Valentine's Day and I've gone straight to St. Patrick's Day because lately I've been really, really into the St. Patrick's Day feel. I watched Darby O'Gill today, and the other day as well we started watching it, and today I finished it. And I watched all the special features, about how they used forced perspective to make it look like the little people and King Brian were little. And I wonder if they used the same techniques in The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. They probably did, and other films. Um, and then what else? Do they use matte paintings, which is another technique for filming, having to do with the camera and setting and everything like that. I wonder if they did something similar in animation films, at the time of the time, kind of like Sleeping Beauty, because I know they did a lot of paintings for that film. That's one of my favorite Disney films. Sleeping Beauty. Somebody's screaming outside. Not screaming, but yelling. Hope they're alright. But anyway, although I do have plans for Valentine's Day, and it's gonna be super fun. I think I described them before around Christmas or on Christmas. I don't know, but yeah, super fun day, Valentine's Day. But not gonna worry too much about it, because I'm super in the Celtic, Irish, Scottish mood lately. Really into that scene. I don't know why, but really feeling it. Really, really, really feeling it. What else did I watch that reminded me of that? I watched something else. Oh, Toxic Tears. Because obviously she's from Dublin, and she has the whole gothic thing. And I always love gothic stuff. Especially, right down to gothic architecture, gothic era in France. But, and that's why I kind of really, really love Sleeping Beauty. Because I believe it's set in the gothic era. Where they had lots of poolings. Those really long pointed toe shoes, which showed status ultimately. If you were really rich, your friggin' shoes were mad long. The points of your shoes, the tips of your shoes. And your pendant sleeves were mad long, just to show that, hey, I'm so rich, I have mad long sleeves. But this is super long, but I just want to talk and talk and talk sometimes. Because let me tell you, I don't do this in real life. I'm actually more of a listener in real life. But That's why I have a channel. So I can let things out like this, I guess. And we just got tickets for the Beach Boys. So I'm gonna see the Beach Boys on Valentine's Day as well. They're just amazing. I like them more than the Beatles. Sorry, but I think like when I was in track in high school, I said to the substitute coach or something, the assistant coach, I said to him, well, he said, the greatest band in the world is the Beatles. I said, what about the Beach Boys? He said, nah, I don't think so. I'm like, well, why not? You know what I mean? They have amazing harmony. Have you ever heard them? Seriously. The Beach Boys have an insanely amazing harmony, like no other, and just their sound is always incredible. And yeah, I'm gonna put some links down below Beach Boys songs that I love because they're just amazing. So I have greatest hits CD. I probably got it when I was around 13 because I remember I was getting a lot of those, a lot of CDs around that time. And like on my 13th birthday, I got the greatest hits ABBA, and I got a 2-disc set, or it was like I don't know, the best hits or something. I don't even freaking know, but great stuff. And my blush looked really good earlier, but I guess it's rubbed off a bit because I look super pale now. But the one thing that made my day like amazing was after I saw Shen Yun with my mom and my friend Jin Yoon and her other friends. I went. It was in Providence at PPAC and Providence Performing Arts Center. And after that, my mom and I went to the cathedral in Providence, and we went to the 5 o'clock mass. And let me tell you, beautiful, beautiful mass. I had the greatest time because I always feel so blessed and holy at a mass, any mass. But that mass is great because the church is so beautiful. And the priest tonight had a great voice for speaking, and he had like a really, really great homily. And we sit next to the organ always, and when we go there, and the organ music is absolutely amazing. That cathedral is amazing. If you ever go to mass and have the chance to sit near the organ, if the organ isn't up in the loft, go sit next to it and just experience such an amazing, holy, out of body experience. It's just incredible. So yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. And it just, whenever I go to mass, I just get so much feeling, and I just want to like say a million rosaries and pray all day. Just devote my life entirely to God. I get so much happiness. It's super cold. Tomorrow's Sunday, so I'm going to be doing a lot of reading tonight before I sleep. That's what I'm going to be doing now. I'm going to go to my bed, get out of these clothes from the day, probably wipe my makeup off, and just read until I sleep. Yeah, nothing better than that simplicity of life. Mm. So life is really good lately, and I'm really enjoying it. And, how can you be depressed when God is on your side? It's just impossible because God is always with you. God is never going to leave you. So you just gotta hang in there. Times are going up, and yeah, just turn to God. So I know this video is all over the place, and I was just thinking of topics off my off the top of my head. Um, all I knew was that I wanted to make a vlog, talk. But yeah, I'll see you later. And thank you for watching. And yeah, see you around.